Project Bring Me Life is here, reawakening the world we live in to our spiritual purpose through art, music, literature, and these podcasts. Welcome to Project Bring Me to Life. Wake up.
Awesome. Hello guys, I'd like to welcome everyone and ask you all to wake up and shine on while we take a moment on Project Bring Me to Life. We're just going to open with a meditation from Ashton's Spaceship Earth to get us in the zone for tonight.
Okay. I want to invite everyone to close their eyes and bring their attention into their energy. We're going to align with our highest vibration through our own spirit.
Guys, I'd like to welcome everyone and ask you all to shut up. Sorry guys, we got to change the difficulty. Why should we playing?
Solar flavors.
This is the laughing meditation.
Oh,
my favorite one. Coming from me? It's probably coming from me. It is. I'm sorry, Ashton.
Oh, it's okay.
It was me the last time too. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, I'm ready.
We're going to start the meditation again?
Let us group meditate. I'm going to invite everyone to close their eyes, bring their attention into their body, into their energy. And I want to take you to a faraway place in your imagination. I want you to imagine that you're on a beach. There's no humans around. There's birds singing, the wind is blowing, the waves are crashing. And I want you to feel the warmth of the sun. Feel the coolness of the breeze that touches your face and blows your hair in the wind. You can feel the sand in your toes. And as you open your eyes, I want you to remember why you came to Earth and what your purpose is. And hold on to that and remember who you are. Thank you.
Thank you. Ashton said he had to go right after the meditation, but Ashton, thank you always for doing the meditation. We definitely.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, we love you too, Ashton.
Thanks.
Sorry for podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Right. I love you guys so much.
Love you, Ashton. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Guys, thanks for tuning in with us. I just want to ask that everyone takes a moment to send some love and light and energy to our guests for tonight, which are two of my personal favorite inspirations that are seeming to really be growing in the festival community by the minute. So I'd like to introduce Taco and Elise Olmstead of Appalachian Jamwich. And Taco and Elise, along with their amazing crew, have worked really hard to not only bring us an amazing print media that's Appalachian Jamwich, but they've also put together one of the most talked about festivals on the East Coast, the Mad Tea Party Jam, which is approaching its 4th year, and I'm beyond excited. So just welcome, guys. We're so glad to have you. Can you hear us again?
Hello? Hi, thank you for having us tonight.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, we're really excited to have a chance to interview you guys because just what you're doing is so inspiring, and we have such a similar mission that it's really important that everyone that wants to reach out and be a part of Project Bring Me to Life also knows who you guys are, because you're giving them something to keep and put in their memory boxes and take a peek at in the future, and those hard copies are really important. So we just want to give you a thanks for that and open it up just so you can tell us a little bit about who you are and where you come from. Each of you.
Well, thank you, and thank everyone who supports us and who does keep the magazines and keep them as little keepsakes. That's definitely our intention when we put them in a hard copy. But Allie, Olmstead, and I'm from West Virginia. I grew up in West Virginia, and I grew up making little magazines of my own out of pieces of notebook paper and stapling them together, and always wanting to be a writer or an artist. And I met Taco when I was 19, and we married a few years later, and it'll be our 5th wedding anniversary this year. And a couple years ago, we just decided that we didn't want to be a part of the rat race anymore, and he, saw my dreams to do something more creative, and we just decided to follow our dreams together. And he's always been very encouraging and nurturing to me.
And I'm Otto. I was born in Vermont, lived in the Philippines, traveled all across the country. Just to get this out of the way, because I know a lot of people don't know this, I got the nickname Taco on a 92 Grateful Dead tour, selling tacos out of the back of my pickup. I was the taco guy, and by the end of the tour, everybody just called me Taco. And I've been living in West Virginia for, let's see here, since 1998, so 17 years. And I consider myself an adopted son of West Virginia. I really love this state. I love the culture. I love Appalachian culture. I love the scenery. I love the people. I love the creativity that you find in these mountains and hills and hollers. And that's one of the reasons why we call Appalachian Jamwich is because of our love of the Appalachian.
Mm-hmm.
I've said for years that I'm going to die in this mountain range. I've been out west. I love it out there. Don't get me wrong. These are big, beautiful mountains, but something about Appalachia always calls me back home. As far as the magazine goes and the festival, honestly, that's I'm a big supporter of people who are seeking out their dreams, and those people in today's world are oftentimes artists and musicians, and there are two careers that receive very little accolades and support in our country. If you compare the patronage of the arts in the United States to Europe, for every dollar that an American spends on art, $10 is spent in Europe on art. And it goes so far as all of the live shows and concerts and festivals in Europe. Those are all subsidized by the government. Those are all subsidized with tax money. As a musician, you just need to submit your work to the state, and they'll examine your work. And if they feel that it is actually truly creative and artistic, they actually give you a paycheck. Meanwhile, our artists and musicians, as children, we're not really told that this is something you can do with your life. They say those are pretty drawings, and they say that's really neat music that you're listening to or playing. Now go get a real job. Go work at a bank. Go be a lawyer. Produce. And I'm not sure whether that's just because we have a young culture in this country or not, but, being married to an artist and watching her go through becoming an insurance agent and how her soul was just sucked out of her, it was a tough thing to have to watch. So when we had discussed the idea of starting a magazine, I saw a great opportunity to not only support the arts and music, but also for Elise to kind of pursue something that she was deeply passionate about. So that's basically who we are in a nutshell.
That's awesome.
That's a small nutshell, really.
Well, hopefully we can open and crack that nutshell a little bit more, so
Texas
you have
size.
so you have a chance for other people to know. But it sounds like you've become quite a power couple in the scene, and I know that you guys usually come as a pair, and what you do is just very awesome. How many years has Appalachian Jamwich been growing?
This will be the 3rd year this April. Only 3 years.
That's awesome.
we started, what was it, honey? April 2010.
Yeah, that was in 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say, did you start the magazine before you had the first Mad Tea Party Jam, or did it come after?
It was that same year, but the first Mad Tea Party Jam was only like 100 or 200 people, and it was more like a party. And it just snowballed into this unstoppable force that is now the Mad Tea Party Jam.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about that? How did the Tea Party get started? Can you tell us a little bit of the backstory to that?
It's a funny story. Talk it out.
I'll try this one on. I mean, other than the fact that when Elise and I were married, we had an Alice in Wonderland themed wedding. Right when we started to get into this whole music thing, I decided that I wanted to book the works for 2 shows, a 2-night run in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. Needless to say, things went astray, and I couldn't have them at the Opera House here in Shepherdstown, so we moved them to this outdoor venue called the Trolley, which is kind of a private residence, and unfortunately they share a driveway, and their neighbors recognized this might cause a lot of traffic on their driveway, so they didn't want us to do that there, so I had to move that, and then moved it to another spot. That got changed, kept on having to find a place to have the works play for 2 nights. So finally, I called a bunch of my real estate friends. I'm like, look, I just need a piece of property that someone needs to make a couple of bucks off of. I just need it for 2 nights. So enter Abe Ashton into the equation and the Bavarian Villa. And so he let us use his property, and we had 6 weeks to put this series of shows together. The whole time, Madison House, their booking agency, had actually given me outs, saying, look, you don't have to do this. I understand. And, my integrity with me is everything. If I put my name on a contract, I'm going to keep my word, and it's going to end up getting paid. So I told him that. I'm like, look, if worse comes to worse, and this doesn't work out, Humphreys is playing in Philly. Me and the band will go to Philly, and I'll still pay him $2,000. So we ended up pulling this off, invited a bunch of local bands out, had a local sound company get together who we still use to this day, and we pulled off this, getting this thing going. Except this was, do you guys remember El Derecho?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that storm? Well, this was that same weekend when it literally all the power got knocked out from Ohio east. So we had 2 tornadoes skirt the property the first night.
Wow.
Knocked out all the power. There were trees down everywhere. People couldn't even get to the party. Bands were having a hard time getting to the property. Literally trees falling on every single road to get in there. And we had no running water. Because this was pumped on a well, and because it was on a well, you need a well pump, and the only thing we had was this generator to run the stage. So we passed into the generator, get the sound and lights back up and the stage going, and about 120 to 150 people ended up having a really neat weekend. Johnny Neal from the Allman Brothers ended up showing up out of surprise, and by the time it was all said and done, we were like, man, this is amazing. We just had one of the greatest weekends ever. And someone said, hey, why don't you guys throw a festival? And like a fool, I said yes. And,
what a great idea! I've always wanted my own festival.
But you guys are so awesome at it.
So we have this festival now, and that's how we celebrate our wedding anniversary, is giving everyone out, making sure everyone has a great time. Yeah. And it's very reflective of what a real wedding is.
Mm-hmm.
What your wedding is. The wedding is not about the bride and the groom. The wedding is about your guests.
Right. That's really cool idea.
you know, that's if you want it to be about the bride and the groom, you elope. So we didn't do that, you know, and in the spirit of our marriage, where we try to really practice selflessness, we end up, you know, losing about $25,000-$30,000 every year on our wedding anniversary.
Whoa, man.
That's quite a loss, but you have some fun. I've seen you guys. It's definitely an experience. I think every year I've met at least 2-3 dozen people minimum that even after the event happens, they're still talking about it for the rest of their season. So you definitely make a memory that lasts. You do some magical things there at Tea Party.
Well, I mean, that was one of the things about our wedding is, you know, we had some things go on financially the year that we were getting married, and Elise was really having a rough time at her job at the time as an insurance agent, and you know, we just kind of pulled the trigger on the wedding. We just said, you know, look, there's always going to be a reason why we can't financially. We're always going to find a reason financially why we don't want to spend the amount of money involved in a wedding, even a small wedding. So let's just go on ahead and do this. And while you're at it, just quit your job. Because in 6 months we need to get married. We can't afford a wedding planner, so you're it. Yeah, you're it.
That's awesome. That sounds like fun.
Quitting your job to plan a wedding is pretty awesome. I'm not complaining.
But you know, one of the things that came out of the wedding was a lot of people that came out for our wedding were, you know, really touched by it, the imagery, the whole experience of what we created that night, and that's kind of been a theme of our marriage, is how everybody really came to admire what me and her have in a relationship. You know, it gets tough for just like any other married couple, except we try not to argue in public.
That's a good trait,
you know,
though. That's like,
I mean, nobody's got time for that.
well, no, it totally makes sense, because if you're arguing in public, then that's just giving people around you an excuse to see your business and think that there's something wrong and just argue with you and pick sides. And once people start doing that, it breaks up a relationship. So by keeping those kind of things to yourself, it's inspiring. And more people need to do that, because you're right, no one's got time for that.
You better do that.
Oh, yeah? We don't really go out in public enough.
You were saying that everybody always sees us together, and we're always together. It's because she's my best friend. We don't do the whole, well, I'm going out with my friends, you're going out with your friends, because we're all of us are friends with each other. You know, that's not to say that, you know, at a festival she might go one way, I'll go the other. It's never planned, but at the end of the day, I tell people this: the first thing I want in the morning is to open my eyes to my wife, and the last thing I want at the end of the day is to give my wife a kiss on the cheek as I fall asleep. You know, I can't imagine experiencing anything worth experiencing and not having her there to share that experience with.
And in all the 8 years that we've been together, we have never spent a night apart. We always sleep in the same bed together at the end of the night.
That's awesome, and that's like a beautiful trait. I must say and give a shout out to your blog, Taco. Talk about it. I think the first one I read was actually the one about your relationship and how honesty was key. Sorry.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And I just want to give a shout out to that. And what other topics can we look forward to coming out of that blog?
Thanks.
I mean, that's the thing. When I sit down and write my blog, I really, a lot of times, you know, it just kind of comes to me, you know, look, I think I want to share this. Yeah, this last blog that I did was about losing my best friend, which was a real. I don't talk about that much. That was a real. It really let a lot of people in on that if they chose to read it. But it was something that, you know, has really kind of defined a lot of who I am. Was that experience? You know, we don't pick those moments that define us. But there are moments that define us, and that was that was one of them, and because it was a turning point in my life of really seeing what was important versus what wasn't important. You know, so I really just sat down and just started writing, and that kind of came up. You know, and I always like to try to share a positive message with people about how to go about trying to bring some positive change in your life, and that's, you know, that was one of those things that brought a lot of positive change in my life. You know, don't get me wrong, I love to party, I love to have fun, but you know, in the same sense, when you've been to enough festivals and enough shows, you see a lot of people that kind of fall to the wayside because they never had anyone kind of educate them about, look, you know, you do have limits, and we all want to seek out our limits, but sometimes there's limits when you get to them, they can be deadly. And you know, we have a responsibility to the people that we love. You know, this scene that we're in, this community that we've built, it's all about loving each other and taking care of each other. And we need to understand that there's a responsibility that comes to that. When I lost my best friend, you know, I didn't realize it at that time, but I've come to learn that when, you know, we can end up hurting people simply by not being there. You know, and you know, we have a responsibility to the people that love us and care for us to always try to be there. And, you know, that involves just taking care of yourself. But, you know, all of my topics kind of they just come straight from the heart. And, you know, I never really want to tell someone how to live or be real preachy, but I know sometimes it comes off like that. Elise will attest to the fact that I'll have her read them multiple times. I was like, I'm not preaching, am I? So, yeah, that's the talk about it, blog. I just like to talk about the things that I think that are important to me, and I think are important to other people.
They're definitely important and they're inspiring. So don't really worry about preaching to people. If they don't want to read it, they don't have to. But the people that just generally are inspired by what you do and what you have to say will definitely read it and support it. And I know I've read several of them, and I love that you have such influential topics. And that being said, do you have like a spiritual path, either of you, like a particular spiritual path or vision that drives you to do what you do, other than your fans?
I'm probably the more spiritual of the two, and it's funny that we're talking about that at the moment because I recently had like I don't know, I guess like a need to have more spirituality in my life. I've been feeling like there's something missing, and I've been looking into Buddhism and their whole philosophy. I guess I'm kind of new agey, you know, I like to meditate, and I believe that there is a higher power. But really, we're all looking for peace, and we're all looking for happiness. And I think a big way for that path is to make others happy and to spread love. And I believe in karma, and I think the more good deeds you put out there and the more love that you put out into the world, the more that you'll get back and the happier that you'll be. I think as soon as you start thinking the phrase, what about me, that's when you start feeling bitter and dissatisfied. But as soon as you think, well, what about you? What about my family? What about my friends? And you start serving towards them and being more generous, then you are happy. And I think we achieve more happiness that way, seeing the people around us happy. And like you said, with the people, I mean, even though we might not see each other on our wedding anniversary at the festival because we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off, trying to make sure that everything's going right. At the end of the day, seeing that many people happy and having people come up to us and say that they had such a great time, that just fills me with so much joy, and it often brings me to tears. And even people seeing the magazine and getting the positivity from that, and getting the exposure that they need and having that be a stepping stone for them. That's what life's all about, and I feel so fulfilled by it. So I guess that's my spirituality, is just being kind to others and giving as much as you can and taking as little as you can. Do more, take less.
Totally.
It's a philosophy.
Totally. That's beautiful. And I totally agree with that as well. I'm totally all about that karma, all about karma crew and promoting, doing good things for good people.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any questions that you wanted to ask or anything?
I just wanted to say that, this magazine that you guys are putting together is really amazing, and I did like what you said about the artists and musicians and how, they're not really paid as much as, some careers. But for me, I feel like the leaders of this new world that we are creating together are going to be the artists and the musicians and, the people doing the workshops. So I'm very happy and I'm very honored to share a mission with you guys. And I was curious about the name. I know you said you love the Appalachian Mountains, but where did the Jamwich come from?
That's awesome that you brought that up. I'm really glad, by the way. I really want to take a second and thank you two for doing this with us, because I think that we have a lot going on, Elise and I, and, beyond just the magazine and the festival. We're both, we have a son, I have a daughter, we have our relationship, I have an e-juice shop, I have a landscaping company, we got a lot going on, but taking this time, really, I think it put a lot back in perspective for me, as to why I'm actually doing this. It's been something that I've kind of been struggling with lately, because it's easy to get caught up in the human bullshit. Is basically that human condition of pessimism. So thank you very much for doing this. It really means a lot. This kind of refocused my attention on the things that it needs to be on. But that being said, the Jamwich name, where it came from, it came up in was it the back seat of the car, or was it down at Maggie's?
No, none of the above. I had to think of
the name. That's right.
Yeah, no, I just had to think of a bunch of random names, and there are other ones out there. I can't even remember, but they were all kind of silly. But the Jamwich came from a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that they sell at cheap stores. That's called Jamwich, and I think I just ordered my MCO, and I saw it, and I elbowed Taco, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if we named our magazine Jamwich? Because it's the jam scene, so it's the jam band, but it's all the scene that incorporates it, the artists and the industry and the merchants and everything else. So it's like a sandwich of jam.
I love it.
The jam sandwich.
The jam sandwich.
I totally love it. Earlier,
I threw it out there to a little team of brainstormers I had at the moment, and everyone seemed to like it, so we just rolled with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the name, every time I hear somebody say it or I say it, kind of just rolls off the tongue, and it just sounds so perfect.
Hey.
Yeah, you're welcome.
How did you guys, actually, I have a question for you guys.
go for
How
it.
did you guys come to start this podcast?
Good one.
That is a very good question. Well, I have been doing podcasts for a few years. And I first did it for Eternal Tribe Foundation, and then I did it for Emergence Earth, and then somebody told me that I should start my own thing and do my own thing, and I was like, they're totally right. So I was coming to Rootwire, and I met Shannon and haven't left her side since, and podcasting was something that I wanted to continue to do, and she was the one that re-inspired that the manifestation of it. And then I had Project Bring Me to Life for a few years, and I hadn't used it for about at least a year, and then I just looked at it and I was like, Just use its name.
You had it pretty much for a while, though. Right around the same time you guys started doing Appalachian Jamwich, about 2010, 2011,
Yep.
he started making all these recordings. And when he came to my house, he just kept showing me, like, all these, like, documentaries and voice clips from, like, he's not telling you the part where he quit his job and went across country and hitchhiked and came up with all these awesome adventures that really happened, but in a more intense, probably way than he can even describe them. Like he had like a full documentary's worth of information that pretty much got stolen from him on the road, but he still has all the stories, and every day he writes more of the stories down, and it builds the project up even more. And he's really good at making videos, so I was just like, well, there's already, like, you guys already have Jamwich, you guys are already doing something awesome and giving them something in, like, a print form, and I've always loved video and making movies, and I kind of see life as being a movie star anyway. Kind of how Shy Time happened, so we just kind of, like, combined projects, and that's why I said it's, like, so inspiring to talk to you guys, because you guys have been doing it for just, like, a couple years longer, and you have such a similar storyboard, sort of, like, you guys are best friends, and that's what we're all about, is just promoting that best friend love and getting them power couples together so that they can build their projects. So you guys are really an inspiration. I just can't tell you that enough.
Yes, you are.
Oh, well, thank you. That's really cool to hear your story, too. And it's cool that we are walking similar paths. So many people are, and you find yourself walking on the path together somehow.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's you know, the similarities. It's. I think a lot of times, you know, people forget. I'm really good at bridging. I guess different groups of people and whatnot, or being able to have a conversation with a banker, a homeless guy, a cop. It doesn't matter. I always look for common ground in people, because it's not as difficult as a lot of people think. You know, I think part of us, it comes naturally to look for things that are different in each other, but it's so much easier to look for the things that we have in common. And you know, I think that's one of the things that holds this world back from being a better place. Is, more often than not, a lot of people want to look for things that make us different instead of the things that we all share. You know what I mean? I call it terminal uniqueness, and people suffer from this syndrome of this. I'm terminally unique, and you know, Fight Club. One of my favorite parts of that was when he was like, "They're not a special snowflake," and I was like, "That guy just said it. It's true. We're all in this together." That's what that said to me. You know, is that we are all in this world together. None of us is any more or less significant, which means no one's suffering should be any more or less valued than another person. You know, we're all the same thing, man. And you know, once you start understanding that, you start recognizing those needs that other people have, and you know, that's what really keeps me going a lot of the time. Is you know, knowing that, you know, this person's feeling it too, and it's I love helping people. That's bottom line. That's my thing. I really love helping people. So you know, I told Elise when we started this magazine, if this thing fails, but one band gets help, or one artist manages to make a living because of what we tried to do, then it was worth it. And that's how I really feel about the magazine.
That's awesome, and I admire that so much, sincerely. Real quick, to the listeners that are listening, I want to give you a chance to send the questions in the chat room. If you have any questions, we'll have a couple questions from the audience here in a minute. And also, if you haven't yet, there's a chance to win a chakra bracelet that I made that was charged in the Leo full moon. All you have to do is subscribe to the website, which is to the right of the live feed, and just put your email in there to get a newsletter, and it just tells you who our awesome guests are of the future week. So Well, usually we do them monthly, so you don't even have to worry about weekly right now.
Monthly what?
Newsletters.
Yes, the newsletters are something I have not gotten very good at doing, so please, everybody, keep me on it.
Yeah, we're getting
That is, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, well, it's getting there. I do them sometimes for you. But just while we're getting some questions from the audience, why don't you guys let everybody know where they can find you and how they can order tickets for Mad Tea Party Jam, because that's important.
Okay, where they can find us?
Yeah, like your website and shops and magazine. How can they order the magazine?
Well, there's www.themadteapartyjam.com.
Yeah, the MadTeaPartyJam.com's got all the info that you need. You can click Get Tickets right there on the homepage. You can also find information on our event page on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, which most of us are. So on Facebook, at the page Mad Tea Party Jam, if you actually click on the Mad Tea Party Jam event, that info will have our whole lineup, a little more info on volunteering, vending, and there will be a link to buy tickets there as well. Appalachian Jamwich, we're also on Facebook. Please give us a like. We post funny pictures and motivational quotes, as well as keeping you up to date with all the music going on in the Appalachian region, as well as, of course, festivals. We mostly keep it small, keep it family, though. We don't post a lot of big major festivals on there, but if you are interested in supporting small, that's where you'll find some of the best up-and-coming stuff is on our Appalachian Jamwich Facebook page and on our website, AppalachianJamwich.com. We have up-to-the-minute press releases, lots of festival and show reviews, and you can buy all of our magazines there. You can buy every one that was ever in existence that didn't sell out. We had a couple issues that sold out. And you can also buy an annual subscription and get them mailed to your door every month.
The other thing you can do to get our magazine is you can go to Dante's and Frostburg. You could go to Morgantown. There's several different outlets for our magazine in Morgantown. One of them is Black Bear Burrito. Other places, Good Natured in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Blue Moon in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. We're in Baltimore. We distributed. Gosh, there's a bunch of different places to Go to the 8x10 in Baltimore.
You'll definitely find them at the 8x10. That's for sure in Baltimore. There's a bunch of other places. Sweetbriar Bait is one of them. But if you are ever wondering where to pick up a magazine, just message me on Facebook and I'll send you a whole list.
That's awesome.
Speaking of which, April 3rd at the 8x10 is going to be an Appalachian Jamwich birthday party. So we're not going to have the bands right now, but if you can make it at the 8x10 on April 3rd, we're going to have our big birthday party there. That's 3 years of Appalachian Jamwich. And then we're also, for those of you who can't make it all the way out to Baltimore, closer to home here in Winchester at the Blue Fox on April 10th, we're going to have Consider the Source, 3 Sound, and DJ Lee Turley performing at our 3-year birthday at Blue Fox Billiards in Winchester, Virginia.
Man, you guys got quite the lineup going.
Getting it. Doing work.
I also I have a couple of copies too of ones that I've kept and ones that I've picked up over some festivals that I would love to get to some homes. My personal favorite, I have to say, is number 29 because you guys featured me with Handmade with Love, and I just want to say thank you for that personally. Like that made my day. I got that at a really.
No problem. Thank you for being a part of it. You definitely spread your beautiful shine all over the scene, and I see you, darling, and I think the world needed to see it. And I mean, that's the least we could do for you.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure you guys, I don't know if I'm probably definitely told you, but it just came at such a perfect time. I was asking the universe for a sign to pretty much tell me that I could keep doing what I love to do, and I had just lost my grandma 3-4 days before my 23rd birthday, and on my 23rd birthday, you messaged me. I don't even think you knew it was my birthday, but if you did, good job. But like the way you contacted me, it was such a magical event that it couldn't have happened any better. So mad thank yous
that's
to that.
wonderful. It was really meant to be, and I'm glad that we could be a little beacon in your life at that moment.
Definitely, totally were. I actually have the picture of the issue that I was featured in on the page. So if anyone wants to go and buy a copy of that, it's available through like they said, you can buy all their previous ones. And just so you know, like the price actually generally goes for shipping, doesn't it, guys? Like you guys aren't making a fortune off this. You're doing it because you love it, and as far as I knew, like it was mostly shipping.
Yeah, no, it's paying for the shipping and the envelope is what you're mainly paying for, helping us offset the cost of all the other shipping that we do. Our shipping costs are through the roof, but it's because we're trying to get it to all these, get the magazine to all these different cities so that people can pick it up for free.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the main mission is. But if you do order a copy, it's only $3. And if you buy an annual subscription, it's still only $3 an issue. It mostly pays for the envelopes and the shipping and all the kisses and love that I put in there.
Oh.
And it just helps support your awesome mission, and that is awesome. I love that you put love into every package.
Do you literally kiss it?
Yeah, Elise is going to be doing a whole lot of that here tomorrow. We got the latest issues ready to roll out.
Oh, yeah, we just got the March issue. You heard it first. So they're all rolling out tomorrow, and we'll be debuting that on the Appalachian Jamwich Facebook page, too.
Ooh, I
There
love
you
that.
go.
Actually, this issue was really important to me because we featured our really good friends and family, the Works. And you were talking about really cool, uplifting moments with the magazine. One of the coolest moments for me, as a big admirer of the band The Works, when we started this, was having Chris Hauser ask me and Elise for our autographs. You know what I mean? I was like, come on, dude. Come on. He's like, seriously. He's like, what you guys do is just so awesome. And I'm a real big humility guy, so I felt I was blushing. I think I might be blushing right now. But that was really a really neat moment for me. Someone that I had so much admiration and was such a fan of, saying that to me was really cool. I've had a couple of other really neat moments with the magazine that were really interesting. Mike Dillon at Camp Barefoot was actually reading the magazine and looked at me and was like, "Hey, you're that guy." So he sat down and wanted me to eat lunch with him. That was really neat. Jeff Austin at All Good in Ohio, he actually flagged me down. He had a copy of the magazine. And, that was really neat because Jeff Austin was really, the band that got me back into bluegrass back in, I guess it was 2003 at Bonnaroo. So, I've had a chance to really meet some people that I've just always admired and respected, and it's when all of a sudden you're on common ground, and you have an ability to, all of a sudden you have a friendship and a relationship with these people. It's a very neat thing, because at the end of the day, so many of these artists and musicians that I absolutely love and respect, they're just like anyone else. You know what I mean? They're just on a different schedule than most of us, and it's pretty neat when you realize, hey, these are just average, ordinary people that are just trying to get through, and it's awesome, man. It's a really cool experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Plus, too, I get interviewed by people like you. How fucking cool is that?
That is awesome, and it makes our day to be able to do it and just support you guys and make it happen.
Yeah, we were
Yeah, I'm
equally
not
pumped.
used to being on this end of an interview.
I bet you're not. That's probably pretty cool. Well, we're glad to be able to do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things you're looking forward to make your project grow, and how can your community help you?
Well, I mean, like Elise was saying, a subscription, I mean, I know that figure have to come off $36, but it goes so much further when we're trying to recruit potential advertisers. because we don't make money off the subscription. We don't make money off the magazine sales. Really, the only way for us to recoup money is through advertising. And, you know, even that, you know, we're kind of picky. There's certain people we just won't work with. You know, there's a couple of festivals out there that I won't work with because of unethical business practices and things like that. You know, I don't want to advertise for Colgate toothpaste. You know, I want to advertise for people like you and, you know, more grassroots businesses. And that's not to say that I'll turn down a corporate business. Don't anyone think that. But I'm going to turn down a lot of corporate business. So that's the main thing is, you know, people subscribing. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you know, money does kind of, it's what prints the magazine. And for the magazine to continue, we need those ad dollars. So, you know, subscription is huge, you know.
Something else that helps, which is simple and free, is liking us on Facebook and sharing on Facebook. You know, advertisers, when they go to our Facebook page, they want to see that we have a lot of likes and we have a lot of activity and supporters. So just by sharing our pictures, getting your friends to like our page, that helps. Distributing the magazine, telling your friends about it, you know, spreading the word. The more people that know about the magazine, the better. So that helps us a lot too, and that's something nice and cheap and easy for everybody that actually makes a tremendous impact.
That's awesome. All right. You guys are, I'm glad that we did get a chance to interview you because you're really good at telling your story, and that's important to getting your story out there.
Oh, yeah.
We're still learning how to do that, but we've been growing and inspired a lot. So our audience has a couple questions for you, and I'm going to let him ask them.
This one is from Samuel. He asks, and this is for Taco, what do you hope to accomplish with Appalachian Jamwich for the year of 2015?
That's a good one. With the magazine for this year, 2015, I want to try to increase content. You know, I would love for to be able to add another 4 pages to the magazine. That would be huge. 4 more pages of print would enable us to cover more about this community. The other thing, too, that I want to do in 2015 is really have our magazine recognized, not, you know, Music and Art magazine for sure, but really have people understand that this is it's a cultural or lifestyle magazine, and that's really what we're documenting. You know, there's so many outlets out there for me to find out what show is playing where, what band is playing where, you know, and read show reviews and read festival reviews. I want people to turn to our magazine that want to be able to really relate a little bit more to our culture and look at the fan spotlight where we spotlight a face in the crowd and see if they can run into that person at a festival.
Yeah.
You know, as well as, you know, recognize the beautiful artwork that's being created in the jam scene right now. There's a lot of beautiful artistry going on that, you know, I don't think there's enough respect. You know, and I don't want to box it into a genre either of just calling it, you know, live painting or transformational art. I think it's art. Art is art.
Yeah.
You can box it in, you can call it lowbrow, fine art, whatever you want. But at the end of the day, it's artwork, and you know, that needs to be appreciated from the street artist to the gallery piece. You know, and you know, those are definitely 2 solid goals for me to have happen this year for the magazine. The other thing too is I would really love it if, you know, the industry would start looking at our magazine more as a barometer for what is happening in the scene.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, we have been really successful in picking the bands that we think are going to be breaking out and up and coming. And sure enough, they have. You know, this year with the Mad Tea Party, we have bands that, you know, most of the bands that are on our lineup have played with us before and have gone on from the small Mad Tea Party to play Wakarusa, New Orleans Jazz Festival, Lock-In, Summer Camp, Mountain Jam, Christmas Jam, Bonnaroo. I mean, all these big, huge festivals, and here they are showing up at a 1,500-person cat festival to come play with us again on our wedding anniversary and to play with the community that we cherish. So, you know, that's one thing I definitely want to see the magazine happen with the magazine in 2015 as well, is have people recognize that, you know, we're trying to call the talent out for you. All you got to do is pick up a copy, and you're going to see someone in there that needs a little bit more patronage from the community.
Mm-hmm. You should definitely check out Spaceship Earth. When you're saying up and coming, I've traveled with him. Last year I went to like maybe 10 festivals with him. But his music is so wonderful. I beg you to check out his music.
Who was that again?
Spaceship Earth.
Nice. Okay.
We made a music video for him.
Yes, we did.
It was our first music video we got to work on.
Oh,
so it was pretty.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it was. He did a remix of Radioactive, and we really have a thing for that song because one of our slogans is "Wake up and stay awake," and that's got the big waking up drop in. So it was kind of like our theme song for a while, and it was pretty cool. And we have a couple other awesome artists on the website too, so musicians and stuff. And I really like that you push the art so much. Like, the music gets you in the zone, but the art's what's gonna be hanging up on walls hundreds of years from now, so that people are like, oh, I remember that piece was made to that song, and it'll just take them back.
Yes, absolutely, and it's universally, readable. Like, you can speak different languages and see a piece of art that will move you, and you can feel something different than the person next to you feels when they look at art. Like, that's something that's so wonderful about art to me, and it's so valuable. I think that everyone needs to recognize the value of art.
Are either of you artists or musicians? I'm sure.
Ooh, nice.
I actually went to college for a very brief time for painting and fine art. That's what I wanted to do growing up in high school. I would draw and paint, and actually the Mad Tea Party Jam 2 t-shirt, where there's Alice with like little dreadies poking out of a mirror, I actually drew that picture. But I don't much anymore. These days I dedicate my time more to other artists in the scene. But there's artists that just constantly blow my mind. You know, when I started the magazine, I was a little bit afraid of running out of artists to cover, and now I know that that's never going to happen. It's an amazing, beautiful thing. But I'm very glad to help these people that are really dedicating their lives to this passion and spending their time 24/7. Because honestly, when I was doing it, it was still not a 24/7 driven to do it sort of thing. I was always dabbling in too many other things. So I think that I'm in a perfect place now, but I can certainly understand these artists and see where they're coming from. And one of my favorite things to do with some of my closer artist friends, because people that I'm not close with might be offended, is, collaborate with a painting, and like they'll ask me for advice. I'll be like, well, maybe if you add this color, it'll pop, or paint alongside them and talk about art with them. And I'm really privileged to be immersed in the art culture.
Yeah, nice.
Definitely.
Yeah, I just play a little guitar.
Well, doesn't your son play the saxophone?
Yes, Alex plays the saxophone. He plays currently alto and baritone.
That's awesome. I wanted to give him a shout out because I always see him.
He just played second in the state on baritone.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, he's pretty proud of that. I'm pretty proud of that as well. He's being blessed with all the problems that seem to be common to a 13-year-old boy. That means I'm being blessed with more gray hairs than the father of a 13-year-old.
He's really fun, though. I've seen him at several festivals, and he's definitely a character of his own. And it's exciting to be able to watch him grow up as part of the movement, just in generally that you guys are doing. And it's definitely like a family thing. So that's really cool that he, like, I have the picture up that you guys sent me of him with his saxophone and you guys on stage, and that's got to be an experience for him growing up like that.
Yeah, he's very well acquainted with the highway, and he's very well acquainted with all aspects of the way that this a music festival works, from backstage to the bands to the attendees, and I haven't sheltered him. As a matter of fact, when I see bad things happening, I try to point it out to him. Because we always say, we need to educate our children, but then we don't want to let them see the downsides or the negatives to life. And I think that if we don't equip our children enough when we shelter them like that, I think that, it's okay for your kids to know that bad things happen. And it's, I certainly did when I was growing up. When I was 3 years old, I lived in the Philippines. I lived there until I was 5. And, while I was there, I saw a lot of terrible things that, most American children don't see. And, I'm glad I did, because it you understand that a human being is multifaceted, and, that there are bad things that can happen at any time. And, I feel with my son that he's very well equipped to deal with a lot of situations that a lot of 13-year-olds wouldn't be equipped to deal with. And naturally, as a parent, a concern of mine is, is my kid going to end up doing all kinds of drugs? And as a parent, you don't want your kid, frankly, using all kinds of drugs. Now that I'm a parent, I know how my parents felt. But, in the same sense, I feel that now he's more educated and he's better equipped to make the right decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's important, But he's a special kid, and I don't think I would change what we've done with him and Elise, because he's not shy about picking up a paintbrush and painting. He looks forward to trying to entertain people with his saxophone. And last year we had a real big surprise. It was a surprise for me and Elise for him to get on stage with the Mantras. I actually argued with the Mantras to not have him on the stage, because I didn't want jam bands to ruin his life.
That's
If
awesome.
you see him at a festival, don't let him hustle you a sticker for $5. He wants down to $1.
I think he might have tried once, but he's such a little boss.
He will try to sell you that twig over there for a few dollars. Don't let it.
I believe it. He actually helped find my my vending spot at Tea Party last year. I got there kind of early, maybe not too early, but right before the rain got there. It was like 2 days before the actual event, because we got there like super early when you guys were still like setting things up. And he came down. And I think someone might have been letting him drive the golf cart. I don't remember, but he came down, pointed me in the direction, told me what to do, and I was just like, okay, this kid looks like he's in charge. He's got to be Taco, so let's see. I'll just follow him, okay. And he, like, took care of it.
Yeah, it's funny at Paradise, I was stage manager at this festival in Kentucky run by Central Production. The same people that throw Resonance, they put on Paradise. And, we got there. I was immediately getting everything together for me to do my job. And later that night, he goes by in a golf cart by himself, and he has a radio. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? And Casey, the main guy behind the event, he's like, oh yeah, I gave Alex a radio and a golf cart. He figured I could keep it busy.
Hospitality, and I don't have either of those things. I'm like hustling up and down the hill.
That's hilarious.
Meanwhile, he's a boss.
That's one way to keep him entertained, for sure. It's awesome. Well, I think there's a couple more questions from the audience. Would you like to ask this?
Samantha had 2 of them. The first one, what advice would you give other couples who wish to one day do something as wonderful and amazing as Appalachian Jamwich and bring me to life? The second one, is there a place to make a donation to help with your shipping costs?
Well, the donation one's easy. If you go to AppalachianJamwich.com, it's right there on the homepage on the left. So just scroll down on the left, and you'll see a donate button, and you'll also see a subscribe now button. So you can sit there and deliberate if you'd like to donate or subscribe. drive where you should be good.
And as for a project to take on as a couple, something that a lot of people don't know about me and Elise is that we actually worked together for a few years in a restaurant after we had gotten together. And I think that was a good chance for her to see how I operate and a good chance for me to see how she works. We are very different people. And, you know, something with me is, you know, I grew up working on a farm. I worked a lot of construction sites. I was project manager for years. And, you know, there's a certain type of management style on a construction site. It's a big ass and big names kind of style. So because of that, you know, that's kind of, I'm a very rough-edged kind of person. I want things done now, and I want them done. You know, something that takes 12 hours, I'm only going to give you 2 hours to do. But you know, with Elise, you know, she's an incredibly patient person, so she can deal with that modicum of behavior with me, which I'm not saying is good at all by any means. It's something I'm working on daily. But you know what I mean? It's absolutely being able to tolerate each other, and at the end of the day, be able to look at each other and say, you know, look, it's, you know, we're done, and let's put that aside and let's get back to the you. You know, we definitely wear different hats, and you know, in all reality, if it wasn't for Elise, that magazine would not get printed for months. She is the cog. She really is. She's the hub of this whole thing.
We'll do that.
Our business partner DK. You know, we've all come to learn our different roles. Danny was a primary investor, and he is our publisher. Elise is everything administrative, and I'm everything that involves marketing. I'm the face of the company, so to speak. And you know, I'm really good at forging relationships, and that's how you would do things in any relationship. Is you have to understand that each person has a role in your marriage. You know, maybe your husband's good at cooking and you're not. Well, then your husband should probably be doing the cooking.
Well, maybe you're good at videography and your husband's good at cooking, and then you start a cooking show. I don't know.
like
I just think you should find out your strengths in each other and weaknesses if you want to start a project together as a couple, and just combine them for the better.
That's beautiful. I really love that.
Yeah.
For sure. What's funny is something a lot of people don't know about us is, well, like you said, he came here the day before Rootwire because him and some friends needed a place to crash because they're from Michigan and I'm in Maryland and Rootwire was right up the road from me. Yeah, but he hasn't left since, and we actually got a job together, and we work at a photography studio together, and it's kind of the same deal, but we are completely on opposite ends of the work scale. I sit at the computer, and he's busy on his feet all day, so it's like completely different ends, but someone's got to do both jobs.
Well, it works well, though. I mean, if you were both doing the same thing, then there would be a whole different side that wasn't getting done at all.
Right.
So I guess it works best that way.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Thank you.
Real quick before he gets the next question from the audience, did you guys want to pick a number between 0 and 20 for me so I can get the winner for the chakra bracelet?
Chakra bracelet!
In line.
In line.
Yes, I have a number.
All right. What's your number?
16.
16. All right. So he's going to check our subscribers and find the 16th subscriber for us.
Woo, number 16.
Right.
It's going to be awesome.
We will announce the winner at the end.
Yes. Yeah, so we're going to announce the winner in just a little bit here. Did you guys, we usually have the mustache you a question segment, but that's when we have video and everybody puts on little mustaches and it's kind of fun. But we want to just give you guys a chance to ask us a question and just anything you want, really, that you might be wondering about or.
All right. I must ask you.
Waffle wrap.
That'd probably be where I have to go. My first falafel fire, and I must say that we've been making it at least once or twice a month ourselves since.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. Speaking of food, though, earlier I was saying something about the magazine. I was like, "Go get the Jamwich. It has a sandwich in it." And he was just like, "It'd be cool if it had sandwiches in it, like sandwich recipes." I was like, but it actually has a sandwich in it. And I was trying to like refer to where you have all the lineup of who's coming up for the.
The Jamwich.
Yeah.
We do have sandwiches in it. I forgot about that.
And they actually have jam on them. But it was pretty cool.
Sandwich.
He's like, it needs to have a featured sandwich. That'd be cool.
I didn't say that.
I said that.
Oh, are you guys going to Chicago?
For the Fare Thee Well? Or the...
Yeah.
Probably not. That sounds like a whole lot of crazy.
Yeah.
That's what we kind of thought too.
We actually worked really, really hard just to get 2 tickets to give away. We never got the 2 tickets, but we worked really hard to try to secure 2 tickets, specifically just to give away.
We really, really wanted to miracle somebody with the ticket, and we didn't get them. We got a rejection letter, and we even sat at the computer for like 6 hours trying to get the Ticketmaster and didn't get them. But oh well, we weren't meant to have them, I guess.
But that's awesome that you guys would go through all that effort to be able to miracle somebody. Like, that's a good amount of time to put into what you're doing for someone else. And, I mean, on top of what you're already doing. So.
Well, you know, for me, it was one of my favorite things I used to love doing when I was into the group. You know, when the Grateful Dead were still performing. And so I figured it was my last chance to do it. I haven't had a chance to miracle anyone in 20 years. So I really wanted to try to pull that off, and unfortunately, it didn't happen. But then again, you never know. Someone might miracle me, so I can miracle someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So
Miracles.
somebody wants a miracle taco, so you can pass a miracle on. Send your tickets to 82
That would be really cool, though. So if someone really did want to do that, they should definitely get a hold of you guys.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I'm hoping that they end up showing up at Lock-In this year. I have a feeling they're going to, but I would really like to. I hope that they can perform a few other shows to give some of the other folks the opportunity to do it. I mean, I get it. You got to retire at some point, and it's a very meaningful place that they're choosing to end it. So at the end of the day, it just so happens that they have millions of fans, and it's a pretty amazing. It's amazing how many fans they have when you think about the way this whole Chicago thing played out. And either way, the last shows, the last run, wherever it's going to be, it would be like this regardless. So it's been a pretty spectacular thing to watch, especially when it's the band that I think we owe everyone in the jam scene owes a little bit of respect to, because these are the guys that made it all happen.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people forget that if it wasn't for the Grateful Dead, we wouldn't have the kind of scene that we have today.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. That's totally true. Like they brought Shakedown Street to us, and like the family aspect to what jam bands are today. And I remember I saw your post on Facebook. You were like, "Man, this is my last envelope and Elise's first." So it was definitely, like, I'm sure, a moment for you guys to experience together. It's pretty cool.
It was teary-eyed, for me especially. So it was neat, though. It was neat. I really struggled with whether we were going to try to do it or try to get tickets or whatever, and we really did. It was something I really struggled with, but in the end, before we even got got a rejection letter or anything, I said, I really would prefer to just send 2 people out to Chicago. If we do get our tickets, then go ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, we took a chance, came up short, but hey, get an A for effort.
Definitely. It's definitely the thought that counts on that one. Well then, did you have a question you wanted to do for the Mustache a Question segment, Taco?
What was that again?
Did you have a question you wanted to ask either both of us or one of us or anything?
Yeah, actually, you guys, as you were saying, you guys have been doing this now for almost a year. How far are you guys trying to take this thing this year?
This year? Oh, I had a 3-year plan, but yeah, we're.
All right, well, let's hear that.
Okay.
Go for it.
For the first year, we just want to keep creating as much high quality content as we can, keep improving, that and improving ourselves as we do intuitive guidance and spiritual counseling and channeling sessions. Keep improving that. We are trying to work on our paintings, and then once we finally just, get a good portfolio going, foundation, right? Building the foundation. And then we'll continue to move on. Hopefully in the second year we'll do a tour with some of the musicians and artists and workshop facilitators that we have, and go across the country to different spots doing a 1 or 2 day expo or. Whoa.
That was the angel saying.
Yeah, I know. Nice, thank you. And by the end of the 3 years, I wrote down, and I think we share this, would like to have some kind of studio or space where we can sort of set up our studio for the podcast, for musicians to come and record, somewhere with the stage, so people could do workshops. Basically, just like a
holistic healing venue.
Yes.
Kind of like bridging the gap between like the festival world with the spiritual world and what I like to call the Muggle world. That phase you have to go and kind of deal with when festivals aren't happening.
I totally get it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually have to put you guys in touch with Jennifer Angelone of the Lightworkers Mill up in Pennsylvania.
Ooh.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, actually, you guys have a place with her vision. As soon as you told me where you guys are trying to go with this, yeah, you guys definitely need to get with Jen, and I'm gonna make sure that facilitates that.
Please do. We would all, that's pretty much what the mission is like to grow all of us together and just bring. Everyone has that personal mission that's just a slightly bit different, and we're just trying to bridge those gaps and get everybody on the same page.
For sure. And that's the thing. You can do a lot more if the community works together. And it's a hard thing to get the community to. There's definitely a lot of good people in the community, but at the end of the day, we're all human and we all have a lot of life going on. But if we all work together, we can accomplish our goals a lot faster. That's the one thing that I can say about our community versus other communities that are out there is that we do have a tendency to throw in a little bit more for each other and try to live a little bit more selflessly.
Mm-hmm.
There's selfish people everywhere you go. Hell, I'm selfish some days. But, I really love that aspect of our culture is that, the ideology behind it is one of a selfish nature. And, it's when we all kind of combine towards it, we can make big things happen. And I think that's, the hope of what a lot of things in this community, a lot of causes in this community, that's what the cause the JAMA Scholarship is all about, is trying to, get everybody to throw in a buck, and next thing you know, you're sending, 2 kids from every state in Appalachian to college with a little bit more money in their pocket.
That's awesome, by the way. Give that more of a shout out. You are doing a beautiful thing there. You guys have got your own scholarship going?
Yeah, we actually have one that we're in the process of creating. We're trying to cover the legal bills to have it be an official 501c3 nonprofit scholarship organization with the Tea Party this year, as well as raise $2,000 for two students, one art student and one music student in the state of West Virginia to go to art school or music school of their choosing with. The legalities behind the scholarship are actually pretty interesting, which is why we're going to have to navigate it with an actual attorney. And as well as, it's important to create a nonprofit because it's easier for me to get a business to contribute to it and donate to it because then it's tax write-off. At the end of the day, these are businesses, and, they have a bottom line and kids to feed themselves, so, it has to be a win-win for that, too. But, it's something that I really, really feel passionately about because I don't think that we tell our kids enough that, that their dreams can, in fact, be a musician or an artist. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that one day my son, when he was in school, they asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he said he wanted to have a beef jerky stand. and the teacher told him that he wasn't allowed to do that. He had to pick a real job.
That's ridiculous. I'm so glad that you support his dream.
Get a real job.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because, a real job is working for someone else.
Yeah.
That's how they view it. And, and as an entrepreneur, like Elise and I are, as entrepreneurs, that was really hard for me to bite my tongue about and not go in and complain about. But, I wouldn't have done anything anyways. I mean, they would just look at me and say, yeah, whatever, But, knowing that and hearing that, having this opportunity to create a scholarship is something where we can actually actively encourage by finance change and get people more focused on the arts because it's huge for some of these kids to just get a little bit of encouragement. You don't get much encouragement in our society as an artist. Period. So when we're in a position to be able to encourage somebody, it's preparing for a better tomorrow. What are we without our arts? Life would be so dull and terrible, just terrible and not worth living if I didn't have art and music in my life. I can't imagine going through life without art and music. I've never understood these people that never listen to music. It's like, man, how do you go through your day? Not being able to appreciate art, no matter how simple the form is. But it's something that we're not encouraging enough of in this country, and this is something that we get to do, and I can't wait to be able to hand to students that kind of money, and it's something that we do want to grow into every single state that inhabits the Appalachian Mountain Range, send to those students. Because, especially in the Appalachians, so many kids' opportunities are so limited that the last thing a parent is trying to do is tell their children, to become an artist or become a musician, and that it's not lucrative. But, at the end of the day, we need to start telling our kids you can make a living doing this. And, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a starving artist. You can actually make a living at this, and then you can eat every day, and you can live a normal life and be an artist, and you can live a normal life and be a musician, and you can be really happy doing that. So, I think the more we can do that through this scholarship, the better the Appalachian Mountain Range is going to be because of it.
That is beautiful, and I totally agree. And people don't realize, the people that are telling us that we need to get jobs and things like that, they don't realize how much work really goes into what we love. As artists and musicians. I said the people that are telling him to get a job and stuff like that, they don't realize what we as artists and musicians and promoters, what all goes into that, and how much work really goes into those projects and those lifestyles. It's work, but it's fun work because it doesn't feel like it. But those people that are telling us we need to get a job because we're not doing enough, they don't realize what we are doing, and that's sad.
Yeah, I challenge, someone too to say that, a touring musician is not working on You know, first off, you have to come up with, you know, the $15,000 worth of gear to put on the stage. And then you actually have to get it on the stage, and then you have to set it all up, and then you have to actually you had to take the time to rehearse all the material, and then put it out there live and in person, and make it a quality set. And then you got to tear it all down, and then you got to load it all into your van. Then you got to drive a long period of time, eating really crappy food in very cramped conditions, and just to perform your next set. And that's not an easy job. And it takes a special kind of person to do that. The same way that it takes a special kind of person to defend our country in the military. The same way that it takes a special kind of person to operate on a child. You know what I mean? We all have a role to play in our society and in our culture, and all of those roles need to be cherished, and all of those roles need to be supported. We can't just keep putting all of our money into the things that we deem as lucrative, and going to be big on the stock market. We have to remember that there's more to this life than just making the dollar. It's about increasing the quality of life in our society.
Totally.
And that's what our artists do.
I think as far as mentioning about artists and about the whole starting artist thing, that if you work hard, and I wrote an editor's letter about this recently, that there's so many talented people out there that don't find success, but the ones that do are the ones that were persistent. So continue to be persistent, continue to work hard. It's not going to happen right away. It's going to take a long time. You might have to work in a pizza store while you're doing it. Kind of an inspiring story on that whole thing is you read the issue where Christian Jacksteimer was interviewed. He's the artist that has done work for Rewire and Papadizio. He does some really stunning, it's like half illustration, half graphic design. He does a mixture of the two. But he worked, at a pizza shop for years while he works on his art. And he works very hard at it, and now he's able to do it full time, and he's one of the most recognized artists in our scene right now. So it's gonna take some time, and it's gonna take a lot of hard work, but it's absolutely possible. You just have to use your brain, be smart about it, and just don't stop.
Yeah, there's a great quote from Joe Strummer. He was from the Clash, and it's a quote that I try to pass around, and it's nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. There is nothing more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. And there's a lot to be said for persistence and determination. And it's that's something that our little magazine really is a testament of. I mean, there were a lot of people when we started the magazine didn't think that it would be kicking for this long, let alone taken to the level that it's been taken to in just 3 years. So, persistence and determination, you have to have those two things if you want to have success at any endeavor in life. It's not just music and art. It's whatever your dreams are. Making your dreams, achieving your dreams. It doesn't come easy, and it never will. There's nothing in life that's worth having that comes easy. So, just be persistent, be determined, and it'll happen for you.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. And it's definitely, like you said, it's growing. It's funny that people expected it to not grow. I know I've heard people from up in Michigan to Asheville talking about it, and I even took a copy with me down in Florida, and it's definitely getting all over the East Coast. And now we have Ashton. I think I gave him a copy to take out with him to California. So you're getting around, and things are definitely happening. And it takes a special kind of person to make a magazine and to continue to do it, like you said, and to pack it and ship it. You guys are just as special as all the artists, musicians, and everything else. The promoters, people don't realize the promoters and how important they are. Like, without them, the artists and musicians, they're doing it, but without you guys, we're not going to have our names out there.
Exactly.
Oh, well, thank you. And yeah, shout out to all the promoters out there, not just us, but people who throw shows and throw festivals.
Promoters, sound guys, light guys.
Yeah, others beside the.
There's so many people that are so essential to make it happen. And one of my favorite things to do after a show actually is walk up to the staff and security of the show and tell everyone thank you, because they're the unsung heroes of the entertainment industry.
Yep.
You know, your roadies, your sound and production crews. You know, those guys, they're literally working their asses off just so everybody can have a good time. From the bands to even the promotion, you know, they make everything happen for us. And you know, James Welsh Sound, they have done their sound for us. They do their sound at Will's Mountain Fest. And, you know, Jamie works his ass off. His guys work their ass off. Last year, you know, they only got like 4 hours of rest per night to make the tea party happen. And, you know, none of those guys are spring chickens. You know, it's not like I'm telling a bunch of 20-year-olds you're only going to get 4 hours of sleep. I'm telling 50-year-old, 60-year-old guys, you know, if you're only getting 4 hours of sleep, guys, make sure you're fresh in the morning. So yeah, there's the promoters. I mean, it's all this work together to really make things happen, and you know, that's why you know, it really is a community. You know what I mean? We're an ecological we're an ecosystem. You know, we're all feeding off of each other, and it's an amazing thing, and I'm so glad to be a part of it.
Sure. Well, I think we're gonna start to close this up a little bit, but I want to give you guys a chance to continue your shout-outs. Give a shout-out to anyone else you want to, and everyone else, and just anything else, or just anything else you want to shout out. And before you even do it, I will say beforehand that they are on the spot, guys. Do not hold them to it if your name didn't get mentioned.
Let's see here, Daniel King, my business partner. He has stood by us and had faith in this project before anybody else did, and was willing to he was willing to put the money up to fund this whole thing. So I can't thank him enough for believing in us and working with us every chance that we all get. Naturally, Welsh Sound, Jim Dewey of what is his company? Earthers Lighting. Kenny, Alfred, Kenneth Holmes, the tour manager for the Works, our festival manager. He drives me absolutely crazy. I drive him crazy. He manages to make the festival as cohesive of a unit as it is. Essential Productions out of Ohio, Casey Schneider, Zach Zabo, for giving us everything that they can possibly give us for the Mad Tea Party. They throw Residence in Paradise, 2 amazing events. Camp Barefoot. I mean, that's like the Mid-Atlantic homecoming.
The best friend party. It's definitely where all of our best friends gather. The workout is an amazing festival that happens every year in our Ohio family. I love so dearly. There's so many cool people in Ohio.
Ohio is second home for us, for sure. Fat Rob, I love you, buddy.
Baltimore family as well, I have to say. We have got a big family in Baltimore, and we love Baltimore.
8x10 Abigail, she's one of the dreamers, man, that put it all out there to make her dreams happen. And that's why, you know, the 8x10 will always, I love going there. It's a great place to go to shows. It's a great place to host bands. And, you know, in my opinion, the 8x10 is the heart of the Baltimore jam band scene. The other thing, too, is just in terms of the workout, buy your tickets early, because when they get ready to drop their headliner, woo, the tickets are going to go fast. So get your tickets early and make sure you get them while they're cheap.
Yes, we'll be directing the art again for workout. So come see us in the art gallery and check out all the artists that we'll be bringing out. We'll be bringing out a stunning display of live painting again this year. Thank you to all of my contributors and my distributors. You mean the world to me.
I'll vouch for that.
And yeah, it wouldn't happen without all of you. George Jones, who does a lot of distributing work for us.
The driver.
He's our driver. He also does the Jamwich lineup for us. He helps me with all my shipping. So
He's
thank
awesome.
you so much, George. Thank you to all of our writers. To Carly Shields, who does legwork for us in Richmond, writes for me every month. Alex Neal in State College, Dylan Schaefer, up in PA. Tons of people. Chelsea Gray, thank you for the amazing team you just built for me in Asheville. I'm so excited about Asheville. MJ down in Raleigh. Abigail Gomez, who's going to Aura for us this weekend. A shout out to everyone going down to Aura. That's going to be
That's gonna be awesome.
a hell of a good time. But Abby writes for us and does some distributing for us as well. I'm so sorry if I forgot someone else. Amber McDonald does a lot of distributing in Morgantown. But all of my writers and everyone who does any smallest thing, it's not small at all. It's huge. Every little help that's blended, because it's not just helping us, it's helping the whole scene when we get that support.
Totally agreed with that, and like I agree with that, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot because I realized that you probably have so many people to shout out. So if anyone didn't get mentioned, don't blame them because we're running out of time. But
Yeah, I was gonna say I could go on for like an hour.
Yeah,
for sure, you guys you probably
Thank
could.
you.
Shout out to Janet Stein.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Project Bring Me to Life.
Yay!
Thank you.
For sure. We're so glad to have you, and we're so blessed to hear your story and to share it, and we can't wait to just share it with everybody. We've had some live viewers, and people are active in the chat, and everybody's loving you guys and what you do, and we just want you to continue that. We're going to go ahead and round up the interview portion of the podcast. We also do an energy forecast and a card reading segment. If you guys are welcome to stay on the line and listen in if you want, but you're welcome to sign off if you're busy, because I'm sure you guys are super busy all the time. But here's your chance to say anything that you'd like to say and give a goodbye and final words to the Project Bring Me to Life crew.
Final words. I got 4. Fort small, support family.
Hmm.
I love it.
Do more, take less.
Oh.
Double and just as
And-
equally as beautiful.
I think that the biggest 3 words actually are I love you.
Oh. I love you too.
That's awesome. That's so funny. I have to say that as soon as you said those words, like, just the way that you had to, like, add that in there, I looked over to him and I just, like, mouthed the words, I love them, and then you said, I love you. That was perfect.
Thank you guys so much for having us tonight.
Yes, thank you for coming on. It was
For
a
sure.
complete honor. I was really giddy. To be honest, I was giddy to have you guys.
Giddy's a good word.
Thanks, y'all. And like I said, I'm going to be putting y'all in touch with some people so that way we can make sure that your project continues to grow and continues to move in the right
Yeah.
direction.
Definitely.
We would be blessed and honored, and anytime you guys have anything you'd like to share with the podcast world, we would love to have you back again, even just for some of our roundtables, because we love your discussion, especially you, Taco. You love to give us your point of view, and that's what we need. We need somebody like that on here.
Yes.
So, and at least we would love to feature any of your articles on the page that you would like to get out there. So, any heads up,
Absolutely.
we're there.
Thank you so much, y'all.
You have an amazing night.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
guys.
you. Bye-bye.
Namaste. All right.
All right, so I'm gonna give it over to Seelman now, so he can do the solar flare update. And I just want to say right before you do that was such an awesome podcast.
Yes.
I am honored to have been able to interview them and share them with all of you. And when you guys are done listening to this awesome energy forecast that we have for you, just take a moment and share the Project Bring Me to Life page with your friends, and then also hop over and check out Appalachian Jamwich and share it too. Help us fill Facebook with more just motivational and inspirational information. We don't need to be seeing ridiculous dresses and memes on Facebook. We need to be seeing important stories and important people that are really just motivating the world.
Filter
So
that content.
help us do that. Help us reach who you need to reach. And we're on Sue, and we're on Twitter and Google Plus, and we're on a lot of social media, but if we've missed one and you can think of one, you let us know, because that's where we need to get. And if you would like to help us with that, we would love to have you on our marketing team.
Are we on Zoom?
I've been promoting us on Zoom. I don't know if we have a personal page.
No, no.
You can look up Shantastic Shine, and you can help me share the content, and I'm pretty sure you can get paid for it. I've got some cents on there. Just kidding. Yes. But well, you can get paid, actually. I do have some cents on there. I'm not kidding.
No,
I'm not actually kidding about that. But you can definitely do that afterwards, and now I'm going to give it over to Sila, because I feel like I've talked a lot this podcast.
Yes. No, that's... I love it. You know? I love not having to be the one to talk all the time. So, I will start off this cosmic energy forecast for March 3rd, 2015 with the solar flare update. So, starting off this solar flare update, the sun has been gathering steam with a total of 27 solar flares since Sunday, including an M8. All but 2 of these have come from sunspot AR2290. So I'll show you, that is not actual, the M8, but this one coming up right there, that is the M8. So let me rewind it real quick and show you something. This solar flare here that happened at about 1:30 Universal Time actually did affect the atmosphere of Earth, and you can see that right here. If you notice right here in this window right here, you'll see that green grazes the Earth. You'll notice that it ends up getting white, and if this white part would have hit Earth, some of our satellites would have gone up. If you've been experiencing some technical difficulties with your cell phone, this right here could be the reason. You see passes. That's pretty crazy. So it did affect some of our technological devices. Some of the ham radios in Australia did black out, so there have been some blackouts with that. And 2290, which you can see not very well here, it's actually on the corner right here. So 2290 is about to go to the far side of the sun, so the forecast for more solar flares is not expected to rise. It is expected to fall. Just for a minute. Dip, 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 dip. So, moving on. How do we close it? Okay, there we go. Sweet. Moving on to the aura forecast. So we did have some rise in solar wind. Since last week, it rose to a maximum of 697 kilometers per second. And that was since our last update. You can see that it did cause quite a bit of auras. And it did light up the Arctic Circle. But the solar wind has begun to drop. It's now at 442 kilometers per second. So expect the auroras not to go too crazy. But, you know, it could happen. Crazier things have happened. Dwarf planet Ceres, which lies between Mars and Jupiter, is now the center of attention for astronomers, scientists, and UFO enthusiasts alike. The NASA spacecraft Dawn is expected to enter standard orbit of Ceres on Friday, this Friday, March 6th. Sorry. The dwarf planet is said to contain water and an atmosphere. It came into national headlines when the Dawn spacecraft sent back images of 2 unknown bright spots, which you can see in this picture here. So far, these bright objects are unknown. They remain unknown. So, I'll leave it up to you. What do you think these are? Could they be UFOs? Could they be something else? Comment on the solar flare update let me know what you think in the comments below. That is the solar flare update for January. Sorry, that's the solar flare update for March 3rd, 2015. Last time I kept saying 2014, so I do apologize for that.
You're just time traveling.
Time traveling. So thank you all for listening, and I'm going to turn it over now to Shintastic Shine for the cosmic energy forecast.
Thank you.
Yes.
Awesome. So we are starting out this week. It's actually an event that's occurring now. As the celestial standout is a trine of luck to us, which is, like I said, starting right about now, depending on where you're located. Jupiter is in a fire trine with Uranus right now, and this will only occur once more this year, and then not again until 2019. Its second occurrence this year will happen in June, and Jupiter is also in retrograde, positioned in Leo.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's a lot happening.
I wonder what that means.
This is causing for a shift in the view of perception of the current leaders. Alliances and friendships will grow strong in some areas where it'll shift in others. So just grow your relationships wisely.
Yes.
But not to the moon. This week is a full moon in Pisces and Virgo axis. This will occur Thursday, March 5th. We are having full moon card readings tomorrow night since we have a podcast with Ashton on Thursday.
Yeah.
So our full moon card readings is tomorrow night with Miss Selena. But the full moon is a rather complex full moon with a variety of energy. It's weaving into our realms, and these shifts are really coming strong as many of the population seem to be getting over the cold, which it just seems to have been disappearing for most of us within about a week. And many of us seem to be re-energized with a sense of creativity and motivation as spring is quickly approaching us.
Ooh, yeah.
So with Virgo and opposite to Pisces, it seeks to embody divine perfection. And the only problem really with Virgo is that it can set itself up for impossible tasks or make us feel frustrated with humans, because it just says that there's like the fallibility issue there. And that's where Pisces has the greatest influence. Pisces also has the greatest influence on those who live in the work of non-physical realm, such as artists and musicians, healers, and other health professionals and human service workers. So Pisces has the dreamers living what others seem to be, some believe to be saying is a mystical fog, which really consists of growth through sleep, meditation, prayer, and other trance-like states. And just the creation stages that seem to have been blissful and growing from this are really just starting to inspire others. They may feel that we're in a mystical fog, but it's slowly starting to like lift the veils for everyone. In these past few days, it's all growing greater in intensity, and though it can have its fishy days in Pisces, we're still susceptible to emotional assault due to the high amplified energy statuses from the extreme bliss. The raise of vibration has to create that balance. When we're in such high blissful states, we have to remember that we're going to feel just as low when we have to have those low days to make us appreciate the good more.
Remember that.
Yeah. But it's really time to let go of that fear and allow the shift to occur in and around you, and have faith that the consciousness is being raised to a higher level of understanding of us all being one and together. And the planets are shifting at a rate of constant energy collisions where our emotions are being tested, and every blissful happening is yet continued in divine allowance. So embrace the feeling of dreams to come true, and let the world guide each of us to the blissful state we're looking for, while strengthening us through challenges. Because it must not only be happening to you, but when something happens to you, it's also happening for everyone else, and everyone who partakes in the event is having a growth experience. So these happenings can seem magical, and it just really is a magical moment in the collective consciousness and astrological history, leading to an age filled with even more creativity and possibility as we all become more accessible to things that we need, and the world is just becoming more of a dream world in the most positive way. So we just have to be open to it and accepting. And the celestial energies are here to make it so. So acknowledge them and appreciate them in this part of the vibration that we're all playing a part in. And that brings me to my card reading for the week.
Okay, hang on a second there.
No worries.
I gotta pull that up, so I'll just put it on your face real quick while I pull that up.
That's fine. I do want to say that we're getting ready to announce the winner of the bracelet.
Yeah. If we could do that while we're in, or do you want to do the card reading
I
first?
can do that. While you get the card reading up, the winner of this awesome chakra bracelet that's right here.
Who won the bracelet? I want to know. Who won the bracelet? I want to know.
Well, Taco gave us the number 16.
Thank you, Taco.
And the subscriber that appeared for the number 16 was Alex Kiss.
Alex, I'm so excited for you. Thank you for it.
So, we will be getting a hold of you, and you will be receiving this awesome Shantastic chakra bracelet.
Yeah, Alex has definitely been supporting not only with shares, but also with, being in the chat room. He gets on his tablet, but thank you, Alex. We really appreciate your support, and Alex is a great guy, so he definitely deserves it.
And he joins our after parties and stuff sometimes, which is always fun.
So how do I get to these card readings? I just thought I had it. It doesn't go anywhere. This one?
Yeah.
Is that it?
It should be.
Okay.
You can get to them right through projectbringmetolife.com, where it says card readings up in the top right-hand corner on the feed. So if anyone ever wants to check out my card readings and they miss it on the last podcast, they have easy access to all of the card readings. I do private ones too, so you can contact me.
Well, that's good to know. It's good to know how to find stuff.
Toots.
Here is a picture.
Awesome. So last week's read reminded us that we needed to respectfully stand our ground. This week the card follows through with the energy forecast, where it seems that we may be struggling with that feeling of conflict or defeat. It's kind of that blissful versus the end of the world kind of feeling we've all been battling with. But our center shows us that we must take authority of our lives as we rejoice in celebration to promote magical happenings. These magical happenings is perceived also through the number 3, which is on the rejoice in celebration card, and also the fact that our spread is 543. It seems to be in a countdown pattern.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like counting down for us to the celebration.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know. I was pretty excited about that. And that's how they pulled, and it seemed to just go right along with it. We're counting down to celebration time. Down the days, the hours, and the minutes until we're all full and able to grow as one and just get our dreams out there. And though it's approaching even quicker, as we all realize that time is more of an illusion, and we can accomplish so many more things in a day than we thought was possible before. And we're just evolving faster and faster in our daily rules. Like, once you stop telling yourself, oh, I can do that tomorrow, you just start to accomplish so much more in your day. The authority card also is here to represent leadership, logic, and strength. And when this card emerges, it's acting as a teaching tool, and it's here to help encourage us, if you haven't already, to take authority of your life. And other traits also include good reasoning and problem-solving skills, and just to remember to stay grounded. Now is when we all must act as leaders, and not only act as leaders, but work together as leaders, and exert our strength as one by working together and incorporating form and structure into ideas and plans and foundations. It takes more than one person's ideas, even leaders, to create a full picture event, and we learned a lot about that today in our podcast with Taco and Elise of Appalachian Jamwich. Like, it's really a teamwork effort, and it's time to stop talking and act in order to achieve what you must get done. The talk is really cheap, guys. You gotta put the work in, and we're doing it. All the hard work is really rewarded, and the celebration is coming. And rejoice in that. Be with your friends, your tribe, your family, and it's almost springtime. Festivals are beginning, and family gatherings, and just all those events that enjoy the pretty weather and the different time of year. It's not even, depending on where you are, the weather might not change, but it's just the energy of that time of year. And it's particularly upon us, and if we allow faith to carry us, the celebration of things to come is going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I have for this week's card reading, and tomorrow we'll have a full night of card readings with Selena, so please tune in and make sure you check in the chat box, and we'll have a number picked out for you to give us a shout out so that you can get in line for that.
Yes, please do.
For sure. And It's just been an awesome podcast. I've had so much fun.
Yeah.
I got to be host.
And we got a new backdrop here.
Pretty fancy.
We're getting fancy. Project Bring Me Life's getting fancy.
Did you have anything else you'd like to share tonight?
I would just like to share that I'm feeling great. I've been creating positive habits for myself. I've been inspiring myself by my actions. I've been going for daily runs, even if it's snowing or raining. I'll still do it. It's important to not make excuses for yourself.
He has. I thought he was crazy for a while, but he's really inspiring, guys.
Today I stretched and I propped my leg up on something and stretched down and I actually touched my forehead onto my knee.
Was it the Reiki table?
No, it was
a banister. It was a banister. He got his leg up.
I showed her to prove it.
I was surprised.
So that was the first time that's happened in maybe over a year, definitely.
I want to give a shout out for him that he has finished his first series.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, I did.
And we tried really hard to get it so that you guys could easily purchase it through his WordPress, but we're still working on that. But you'll be able to purchase it through my website. You're gonna put it through the website?
We'll put it on her website, and I will work on that button because I have an idea of how it will work, and I'm pretty sure it will work. So
if anyone has an easy way to put a PayPal button in a WordPress, we would love some information.
Yes. There was one thing that I would like to say. This is something that resonated with me a lot. Somebody said, and I've always retained it. Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. Tomorrow is an illusion. It only exists within your mind if you think about it. So the only thing that does exist is this moment, and it's not going to get done until you do it in this moment.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. I'd like to add to it. I once heard a story, and it was, I don't know exactly how the story went, but it stuck with me. It was about an old man who told somebody that he wished his life away to get out of high school, to be married, to have a job, to have kids, to have grandkids, and then at the end of it, he looked back and he said, "Man, I wish my life away, and I didn't even get to experience it." So don't put those things off till tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Do them today so that you have the experiences, and also don't worry about the money aspect. I know it sounds crazy, but your dreams are meant to come true,
mm-hmm.
and
that'll come.
Yeah. And I think Taco was really touching on that tonight.
Yes, it was.
Sure.
I mean, if you love something, you don't need to get all the fanciest stuff. You don't need to do anything except for, you have the resources around you. You just need to go and get them, regardless of money. The money will come later, And that's a reward for your hard work and for your labor. And what good would it be if you got the reward before you put in the labor?
I totally agree.
Yes.
Did you have anything else?
Yeah, there was.
You're awesome.
You're awesome too. I guess I was.
If you think about it, you can share it tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because, like I said, we'll be live tomorrow, and just when you're done watching this podcast, if you're still with us, or if you've watched the whole thing and you're not with us live, you can still do us a favor by sharing this video via YouTube or Facebook or just any way, because you guys, you're why we do this. You can share it. There's usually a share button right there, or probably right there, or somewhere over there. There's probably a share button somewhere close by.
There's a share button somewhere.
So you can go ahead and give us a share and let your friends know. Any social media site, we're pretty excited to get us out there, and just in general, we're excited to bring you guys to life. And
Pat, don't forget your catchphrase.
I was getting ready to do it.
You just came up with the catchphrase.
Our new official motto is to stay awake and shine on always. So
always.
We're gonna leave you with that, guys, and shine time.
See y'all tomorrow.
Bye.